I'm finally getting to tell my story of how I met, oh my gosh, Taylor Swift. That feels so fake. The day I got my Taylor Nation DM, and then I saw confidential message. Okay, yes, confidential message from Taylor Nation, and immediately my eyes like welled up with tears, and I was so happy. I'm driving home and it's like 10 in the morning and I get a call and I was like, crap, this is from a number I don't know. What if it's them? And so I answered it. And this guy's like, hi, it's Pedro from this electrical heating something. And I was like, okay. I get home and I was like, crap, my hair's greasy. I need a shower. So I shower. And in the middle of my shower, I get, lo and behold, a phone call. She's like, hi, it's Elise from Taylor Nation. She's like, is this a good time? And I was like, half naked. I just got the shampoo out of my hair and I'm like, yeah, no, but yeah. And then that day, that was on the 22nd, I got that call. And then on that day, we booked our flights to Nashville. I get to Nashville and I meet my best friend Emma that day. Here's a toast to my real friends. Because we had this pact that if we got invited, we'd tell each other. But I didn't tell her because I felt bad. At first, I was like, well, what if she doesn't get invited and I do? And then I was like, well, crap. So I didn't tell her. And then the next day, she got a message from Taylor Nation before she got her call or whatever. And she's like, Jessica. And I was like, no. She's like, yes. I'm like, no, yes. And she got the message from Taylor Nation. And so I was like, Emma. And she's like, no. And I'm like, yes. Our moms went with us and we both shared a hotel room. In Nashville, we found the Look What You Made Me Do poster thing. That was when we got the address for where we were meeting up, and we wanted to like find where it was, so her mom and my mom and all of us drove there as her mom turned on her hazards and stopped traffic so we could just take pictures there for like a quick second. Flash forward to the next day, the holy day, October 25th, aka the day I stepped foot into her house. I get a call at like 7 in the morning from Bree and Abby, and I'm like, I'm trying to sleep, and they're like, girl, your location is on, and I'm like, well, crap. So flash forward more, we get to this location spot where we're supposed to meet, and I get in there, and then all like just a huge crowd of my friends came up and started hugging me, and I felt so overwhelmed. What the heck? I finally got to meet so many of my friends in person. So, like, here is Bree and Abby. And before we go on the bus and go down, we get wanded and stuff. And they're like, okay, you can take, like, one lipstick with you. And I pull out a bag with, like, my lipstick, a mini perfume thing, my diabetes stuff, and mascara. 2 mascaras. And Allie's looking at me like, honey, just one. And I was like, you don't understand. I'm gonna cry. Like, I need to look good. And she's like, you're so beautiful. I was like, thank you, but I'm gonna cry. You don't understand. I need to fix this up. So instead, I just brought my lipstick. And we get wanded and we go down on these buses and these super like cool limo buses. And we drove down the road and I remember it was dark out and it felt like forever. And then we slowed down and we're all like, holy crap. And he starts turning left and he goes up to these front gates and all of a sudden the gates go. And we're like, vroom, 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 vroom. And everyone started like screaming and I can't. Oh my gosh, her house is like, oh, it's so pretty. We walk up and Taylor's like this garage exercise room thing and there's like dog beds in there and TVs and exercise equipment, and she obviously had it open for us because nobody was exercising like at that point, you know. There's the video cameras there, and then they gather us up and they're like, okay, what happens here stays here, blah, blah, blah. Welcome to the Reputation Secret Sessions. And they open up the gate and we walk up the stairs and immediately is her house right on the left there, like wraps around a little bit, and there's the pool and an overhang, and she has this cute little fountain that goes into the pool. I think it was like a little boy, and I felt like water came out of his belly button or his mouth or something, like into the pool. It was so funny. He was like, it was funny. And we walk over the food. I really don't know how I ate, but I knew I needed to, otherwise my blood sugar would drop, which did happen later. Anyways, there was Chick-fil-A nuggets, sushi, I think it was sushi, I don't remember, M&M's, cookies, crackers, fruit, I think, and then you walk over to the other side of her pool, and there's like a balcony part under it, and that's where you get all the drinks. There's Smart Water, Diet Coke, like everything. I like peeked in her house a little bit, and she had the cutest photo of her family on like a beach trip, and it was the cutest photo. It was like a nice blue background, and they're all like around each other or something, I believe, and it was like a wraparound staircase that went up, and on the top part of the house I saw someone walking up there, and she had something like her Fearless album framed and hung up. Wow. I'm just after like maybe like 15 minutes of being outside, we were let in. We take a right and we walk down these stairs, and they're like wide, long stairs. And then you go in there, and then you go down the stairs, and there's the living room, and then we take a quick right and we walk up like 2 stairs, and this is the room we're in. That we're all sitting down, and I was in like the second row in the middle, and I had this cute little window where she could like see me through, like, of people, you know? We're all sitting there, and it didn't take long because all of a sudden Mama Swift came in, Scott came in, Tree came in, and then I was like, things are happening, and then all of a sudden, her and Abigail walk in, and they're going like this, and we're all like screaming, and Taylor's going like this or something, and Abigail's going like this. She's like, speaking of Abigail or whatever, she just got married, and she holds her ring out, and people are like looking at her wedding ring, and it was so cute. I start looking at her, and I'm like going like this. I'm like looking at her, and then she sits down, and I'm like bawling, not like but like I'm like struggling to keep my tears, and like I'm like and then she looks at me, and she smiled, and she winked, because I know she knew who I was, obviously, at that point. She just starts talking about trust a lot, and saying like, you know, like, I trust you guys in here, please don't spread this, you know, like, she said it kind of subtle, but like a way that she instilled trust in us, and we got the gist of that, like, we understood that. She plugs her phone in, and lo and behold, she starts playing her music, and she explains every song. She showed us the Ready For It music video, the whole thing early. During Look What You Made Me Do, we had a dance party. She turned the lights off. She went into the audience of the room of like 60 people. And she's going through, and then all of a sudden she comes up to me, and I'm still trying to... Okay, you're me, I'm Taylor. So this is what she's doing. She's dancing, she goes... And then she comes to me, and I was like, honey, get away. I was freaking out. And she comes up, and her hands go like this in mine. I was like, my hands do not deserve this. My crusty hands do not deserve to like touch your soft, luscious hands. And we're like going like this. We're like dancing back and forth and stuff. And then she, and I remember so vividly the part, she's like, the world moves on, another day, another drama, but not for me, all I think about is karma. And then we're like dancing, and then the world moves on, but one thing's for sure. She got like this close to my face, and she was like, I'm kid you not, she was like this close. I could smell her breath, friends. Like, I could literally smell her breath, and I could smell her. She smelled so good. We're like going like this, and then I start going like this with her, and like dancing around and stuff with her hands in mine like this, and she starts laughing at me, and I was like, I made it, like, I made it. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then Micah's looking at me, and she's like freaking out, and then Emma does, and everyone around me. I was like, what is happening? I just touched her. Little did I like I wasn't gonna meet her anyways, like later on that night. She was like sitting, everyone's going like this, and I'm like, and then I'm like sitting there, and I'm just like, also like, I was going like this, and I was just looking at her, I was like, just like staring at her, and then tears started coming up. And it wasn't because I was sad. Like, I was so happy that I started wanting to cry. And I looked at Emma. I was like, Emma, I gotta stop. I'm so proud of her. Like, I started crying because I was that proud of her. And I remember during New Year's Day, I grabbed Emma's hands like this. And, like, this would be Emma's hand and this is mine. And I was like this on it. And we were, like, swaying back and forth. And I was crying because I was like, I've prayed for this girl for so many years just to like be in this point in life where she's happy and content with someone that loves her as much as she loves them. Like, it's a whole reciprocated like back to each other thing. Like, that's what she does. It's what she deserves, sisters. Like, oh. And so I started crying, and I look at Mama Swift, Andrea, and she sees me crying, and then she's crying, she's going like this, and I look at her, and then she looks at me and she goes. And Taylor saw me a bunch, and she kept looking at me, and she winked a little bit. She just had the softest smile on her face, and she winked at me a couple times, and she kind of swayed back and forth and was looking at me. It was just like, and I remember just my blood getting low. I asked Elise for a pop. Well, I was like, I need something sugary, like juice or pop. They had someone go to Taylor's fridge and got me a Coke can, and that's still sitting over there. And I brought my Smart Water home too. Yep, that's still over there in my room. So they started cleaning up when it was towards the end. It was probably around midnight. There's an hour left that we were there. We were there till like 1 o'clock. I was the last person to meet her. I was like, okay, it's getting close. I need to go to the bathroom and touch up with Emma. So we go in the bathroom, and I posted this on Tumblr. I felt so guilty. I literally gently finessed my hand onto the corner of the wall. I was just like this. Barely touched it. A whole piece of trimming, molding, whatever, from the ceiling to the tile went and fell down, went ching, 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 and fell down. And I was like, oh my gosh, that was in like her cool gold bathroom. I was like, I just broke Taylor Swift's bathroom, and I felt so bad. And finally we get up, and it's just like us left. It's just us, and we're all like watching each other meet Taylor, and we're freaking out. Elise was calming me down. And Sydney was on the bottom of the stairs probably thinking I was a crazy woman. Okay, my hair might be longer now. It's been like over a month and a half probably since I filmed that last part of the video. Because college takes up my whole life. So, on with the story. It's my time to meet Taylor. And I'm sitting at the bottom of the stairs, standing, watching Emma meet Miss Swift, and it was so amazing watching them interact with each other. Wow, it was just crazy seeing like my best friend meet Taylor. Emma leaves. Emma grabs her little fuzzy thing and like hugs Taylor one last time, and zoom, she's out the door. And I'm standing there, and dumb me is like pretending I don't see Taylor Swift like standing right there, because like I wasn't ready, but I was. So I was just like looking over, do. I turn around for a quick second, and Taylor goes, she tilts her head and she goes, Jessica. And she literally, I kid you not, she didn't just stand there. She shuffle ran towards me and scooped me up in the best hug I've ever had in my life. Wow. That happened. Whoa, okay. And we're rocking back and forth real quick, and I squeeze her tight. She squeezes me tighter. That's her nature. She's always gonna want to do more for you, you know? What a sweetheart. And we go back, we get out of her hug, and she grabs my hands like this. And then all of a sudden she takes my hand, and she goes, you are even more gorgeous in person. And she's stroking my hair like this. And at the time my hair was this much longer. It was really long then. And then she's like, you look so beautiful tonight. And when she said I was even more gorgeous in person, and she talked about my eyeshadow or something, or I don't even totally remember. It's just all a blur to me. It was so surreal. And she's like, and I told her, I was like, yeah, this is my glitter eyeshadow. Yeah, she's like, I saw you look so pretty. She's like, but you look even prettier and up close. I couldn't see all your makeup and everything like that. And I was like, yeah, Emma did this glitter eyeshadow on me. She's like, I know, I saw. She's like, that glitter is amazing. And then she's like, I'm so glad you're here tonight. You don't even know. And I was like, Where did my heartbeat go? So she's like grabbing my hands and like swinging them back and forth. And then I had a bracelet that I got engraved the day before at Things Remembered. And I know Taylor said that her like her most favorite compliment is when people call her, like, tell her she's generous. And I have always thought that from the start, even before she said that. So it's kind of like, I don't know, it was really nice. And I got her a bracelet, and it was like a bar, and it said generous on it. And then in the right, there's a birthstone, her birthstone, and on the back it said with your all -J, like from me. I'm explaining this to you, and you'll see why. So I opened my hand up, and I was like, I got you this bracelet. And she's like, all of a sudden she saw me open my hand like that much, and she's like, oh, and she like reached in, and she's like, it's so pretty. And I was like, so she sets it on her hand and lets the rest dangle, and she's like, help me. And I was like, okay. And I'm like getting it on her, and I'm like this, like I'm like my past grandpa, like I was like, I had Parkinson's, like I was shaking that much. And I was like, Taylor, this is what you do to me. And she just laughed at me, and it was so I put the clasp on, and like while I was doing that, I was explaining, I was like, I got you this because like you're not only generous with your time and your money. And then I got it on, and then she stands back, and she gives me she takes my right hand, she's like swinging it and like rubbing it or whatever. And I was like, but you're like not only with your time and your money, but your heart and everything that comes along with that. You're always so open and vulnerable with us, and you always give us your all. You're generous in all aspects, and like we appreciate that. I appreciate that so much. And she goes, and then she goes like this, like, and she shuffles in for another hug, and I hug her, and she hugged me so tight there. Like, you guys don't even know. It was so nice. She's like, I'm so blessed and fortunate to have you, like, to have all of you guys. And I was like, are you kidding? We think that about you. And she was like, oh, or whatever. I don't remember. She always, like, comes up with the cutest remarks. Like, she doesn't always just laugh at something, like, if it's, like, something she doesn't know how to answer. Like, she knows how to answer, like, everything. It's kind of cute. And then we step back, and we're just standing there, and she looks at my necklace, and there's an opal. And she grabs it, she's like, ooh, opal. And I was like, yeah, it's my favorite. It's like my favorite stone, and I know it's yours too. And she's like, I love them, or whatever. So I started telling her, I was like, about me wanting to go to her past concerts, but I was young. Obviously, I couldn't come up with the money to do that, and I was devastated. And I remember at my old big house, back before my parents were divorced, when she was in town, and I shut my door, and I was telling her this, I was like, I shut my door, and I put my dresser in front of my door, and I cried because I wanted to see you so bad. She's like, oh no, I love you so much. Oh my gosh, you didn't have to cry or whatever. I was like, girl, I wanted to see you so bad. And I was like, but what I'm telling you this is the first time I saw you in concert, it meant so much to me. And then you said something that meant even more to me. And you said, it's not good for your happiness or your state of mind to care so much about what people who do not care about you think about you. And I said, and I know it might sound weird, but in that moment my brain clicked, because I had been bullied from grade 8 to grade 11, and not a lot of people knew about it. And like really bad bullied, like the stuff you see in movies kind of bullied. And I was like, I realized I deserved better. And I was like, I saw you chase after that happiness, and I figured if you could reach that point, I could, because you get it so much worse than I did, like with the threats people send to her and everything. And then I was like, so the middle of my 11th grade year, I transferred schools. And she's like, oh, did it get better? And I was like, well, here's the thing. I was still lonely, but I wasn't being bullied. So, like, it was so much better for me. And that's kind of where I started paving my path in a different direction, and, like, standing up for myself, realizing I deserve better, that I should be happy, things like that. And she, like, really appreciated me telling her that story. She was, like, grabbing my hands. She stared me in the eyes, and she was, like, just very, like, interested in what I had to say. And she told me she appreciated me telling her that story, like, it meant a lot and stuff. And then, yeah, she thanked me so much for sharing that. And, So then, I'm missing a lot because I talked to her for a long time. Since I was the last person, I feel like I had a little more time with her, it felt like. It was a long time. And, very thankful for that, by the way. And I'm missing parts, but we go into, like, our pose, and I was like, I asked her for 2, but she said, like, no, of course, but we can incorporate, like, the 2 poses you want into 1. And I was like, okay, well, I don't know if you remember, but back in the day, like, you reblogged my post on Tumblr with 4 thumbs up. And I was like, so ever since then, everyone has, like, attacked me online with 4 thumbs up. And she's like, what do you mean attacking? And I was like, I think she said it sarcastically, but I don't know if I took it that way. And then I was like, I'm trying to remember this. Oh my gosh. And she was like, yeah, what do you mean attacking? And I was like, oh no, not like that. I mean, like, sarcastically, like, on all my live streams, they all, like, do 4 thumbs up, like, 50 people in a row, and they send me, like, anons and messages all the time, and my contact name is 4 thumbs up. And then we start, like, talking about my account, and then, I was telling her about those 4 thumbs up, and she's like, oh, they do that. Why? Because I'm obsessed with you, right? And I was like, well, I don't know, are you? And she's like, girl, you already know the answer. And I was like, what? It was so great. Wow, Taylor Swift said that to me. Fake. False. I feel like Dwight when I do. False. Bears, beats, Battlestar Galactica. Oh my gosh, I'm such an idiot. And she talked about, like, at the beginning, she talked about, like, going on my account online and stuff and checking up on me. Like, I don't remember all of it, but it was just crazy. Like, a lot of this stuff, I can't. Anyways, when I told her about doing that, so I was like, okay, so for a thumbs up, I'll do, like, 2 thumbs up, and you're behind me, like, going like this, so it's, like, 4 thumbs up in a row. And she's like, oh my gosh, she, like, jumped up and down. She's like, I'm so excited to do this. This is one of the best poses I've ever done. It's so creative and stuff, because I feel like she really, like, likes those creative poses that people kind of choose instead of her, you know, always doing it or something. And so we go in, as you can see in the picture in the back. And she, like, when she's doing that, she, like, squeezes me with her arms, and she smiled, and I didn't even tell her to, like, go, like she did that on her own. I can't. And she was, like, saying stuff like, I'm so happy I finally got to meet you. And I was like, we were both starstruck. Wow. And I'm such an idiot. Anyways, she grabs her glass of wine, and then she, like, sips it. And I was like, Taylor, can I have one more hug? She's like, of course. Like, she loves hugs. So we go in for one more hug. I was like, thank you. And finally I go to the stairs where we came in, because that's where we walked back out. And I look at her one more time, and I was like, I love you so much, Taylor. And she has, like, her wine glass in her hand. She was like, and then she's, like, jumping up and down going, I can't even do it. But anyways, it was so funny. And wow. And then as I'm walking up the stairs, she goes, woo! And then, because it's, like, the end of the secret sessions, and she's so happy, you know. And I just started laughing, and wow, fast forward, I'm getting on the bus, and I walk up, and everyone's staring at me, and I'm like, I just started bawling, and, like, the entire bus ride home, I was staring out the window, talking to myself, crying. Like, I was so happy. And it was just a crazy experience, and I can't even believe I'm saying this again. This is so fake. Wow. I feel so blessed to have had this happen to me. And I guarantee Taylor's never going to stumble upon this video. But if she does, I just want to take one quick second to thank her from the bottom of my heart for literally giving me the best day of my life, included with my best friends, and these friendships are going to last a lifetime, and same with my love for Taylor, and I'm just so happy. Like, I really am. So, that is the end of my experience. Okay. Wow, thumbs up. Goodbye.